Hey everyone, Hannah here for Soj 333. This week again it's raining, so I apologize if the traffic on the road outside is a little louder. But if anything super loud happens, I'll pause like I did in week 11. All right, so this week, week 13, there are no new readings. And so instead, the focus is going to be on finalizing your final paper for Survey of Criminology. Okay, so you can see here all the details, and this is also in our weekly schedule and in the syllabus. So basically, I wanted to allow students to choose who they partner up with to trade and grade ultimately, while also providing at least a little bit of structure. So what I ended up doing is I assigned 9 different groups, and in each group there are 4 people. So you have to stay in your group that you've been assigned, but within that group you can choose which other person you want to be your partner, and that person is who you will be trading and grading with for the purposes of your final drafted paper. So okay, let me go into student view. So this is exactly what your week 13 will look like, and then obviously the video I'm making right now will be added when it's POW. So if you go here, this is the trade and grade forum. Now you'll notice that you don't see the different groups listed, so you actually have to click here where it says week 13 trade and grade, and it's a link. You'll notice if you hover over it, and then that's where you see that each group has their own thread. So you can see group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you can see that everyone who is in that group, their name is displayed here, okay? And so immediately you can find your name, you can see the other 3 students who have been paired with you, and from there you can click on your week and you can discuss whatever you need to with your group mates in order to determine who's going to be paired with whom. So there's a couple caveats. So one is that so the groups were assigned randomly. I took the roster for our class in alphabetical order, and I did 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9. So there is a method to my madness, but it's all alphabetical and numerical. For week 8, you'll notice that our TA, Brianna Fong, is one of the 4 people assigned. That's because I was 1 person short. So Brianna will only be paired with a student if someone from this group 8, wants to. And I just noticed it says week 8, it should say group 8, but this is group 8, okay? So if 2 people in this group, they pair up and that 3rd person would prefer to have me, Hannah, as their partner for feedback, I can accommodate that. My thought was that working with the TA would be less stressful than working with the instructor, but if you prefer me, that's fine. And I'll provide you with feedback, and we'll kind of go back and forth. And it might be a little less work in that you won't have to give feedback to me or Brianna, but probably it's a little more stressful because you're getting feedback from one of the instructors for the class. The other thing I want to point out is if someone from any of the 9 groups doesn't hear back from their partner, so within their groups 1 through 7 and group 9, if there's anyone who just can't get a hold of their partner isn't providing feedback, then someone from this group 8 would get paired with that person in another group who isn't getting feedback from their partner, rather than getting paired with me or Brianna. And that'll just be a little more fair as far as, you're being paired with your peer instead of an instructor, and you're going to have to provide feedback to that other person at that point. So I hope this makes sense. And if for some reason your name is not in one of these groups 1 through 9, email me or your TA, and we will make sure that you're in a group and that you are able to be paired up with someone to trade and grade. And I'm noticing that this is a discussion board form, so my hands automatically typed week instead of group. So I will fix that after this video is finished. Okay, so what are the expectations once you find your group, you've been paired with a classmate? What do? So you share whatever you have been working on toward your final paper with that other person you've been paired with. And then from there, you'll provide each other with feedback. And so that means using track changes, which you can do in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, which is free, and you'll just provide feedback. So that can be actual like sort of copy editing, which track changes allows you to do. And it can also be asking them questions or pointing out parts of their draft that maybe are confusing to you, or you think they need to explain a little bit more. And so if you have further questions about what your feedback should look like, feel free to reach out to me or Brianna. If we go back to the week 13 tab, you'll see here that, remember, if you don't get feedback from your partner, or you have issues choosing a partner based on the group that you were assigned to, email one of your instructors as soon as possible so that we can get you situated with getting your feedback. And then once you've provided once everything's situated, you've got your partner and you've done your track changes and you've given that feedback to your partner, you can continue going back and forth. So maybe you get your track changes back from your partner, they got your feedback, and they have a question, they left a comment saying, hey, I need clarification, this didn't make sense to me, and you don't know what they mean by that. You can continue emailing each other back and forth. And if you still don't think it makes sense, again, you can always reach out to me or your TA and say, hey, like I got this feedback from my partner, it didn't make sense or it wasn't helpful, can you give a third opinion? And so that's also an option. But part of this exercise is learning how to revise a paper and receive feedback and give feedback to your peers. So very often in undergraduate classes, you do a final paper at the end of the semester, you submit it at midnight, and you never look at it again, and you never have the chance to make revisions, right? And so this is a way for you to make revisions on your final paper, and that way hopefully you'll earn a stronger grade than if you had just turned something in at midnight the day it was due. So that's my rationale for doing the trade-in grade. It's why your paper needs to be drafted fully a little bit earlier in the semester, even though it is a final paper. And remember, this assignment acts as a final exam. So this is your final exam. The trading and grading and then submitting the final paper. We won't have an exam in this class during exam week. You do your paper, assuming you've done all the other assignments and you're done with our class. So that's all I have for you this week. No new readings, no new videos, other than this one, which is optional if you need help understanding the trade and grade process. And that's all I have for you all. Have a great week.